Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Greg McLeod from the Elite Traders University, and Pip and Run, guys. And I'm out here doing a walk right now, trying to get my 10,000 steps in. You know, uh, I figured out a plan I've worked out to, try to get in shape. And so I figured if I incorporate a little bit more movement, get away from the desk, get away from the computer, and go for a walk, right? Um, so I figured, hey, 10,000 steps, I kind of figured out it's about 5 miles, and 5 miles seems like a whole lot. In fact, every time I try to walk 5 miles, it, I get frustrated, get tired, and I turn around and I go home, right? And but this walking through the neighborhood, though, this it's a beautiful day in Texas, blue sky, big puffy clouds, and getting my vitamin D. So I'm really enjoying the walk, and enjoying putting in those 10,000 steps. Not just putting 10,000 steps in; it's actually fun. It's actually enjoyable. It's it's a lot easier to stick to a 10,000 step plan when you've got to kind of laid out what the goals are and what the payoff is. So I got this, kind of figured out this payout where I will 10,000 steps, about 5 miles, right? And it burns about roughly 400, 500 calories. And if I could just do this kind of leisurely walk for about 7 days, then I'm going to burn about a pound of fat with 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So I've got a plan set out that all I got to do is walk around the neighborhood, and I got a little route walking past the school, walking around. Actually, I walked past the elementary school, then I walked past the middle school, then I walked past the high school. So it's almost in succession, like graduating, but going it very fast. In fact, I'm coming up on the elementary school right now, which is pretty cool. The elementary school is right there. It's a very bright day here in Texas, and the sun is directly above me. And I slept in. I didn't want to. I'm not. When I trade the London session, I trade at 3 a.m. I'm not waking up at 6, right? But I did wake up at like 11, and so guess what? The sun is straight up in the sky, right? So we're walking by the elementary school. So that's my first milestone. I know once I get past the elementary school, then I'm actually I'm on my way. I'm on my way, right? I don't even have to look at the technology, the Samsung activity device or watch device. All you gotta do is look at landmarks, and I think that's what we did before we got all this technology. Is we had benchmarks or landmarks to tell us, how far are we along on our journey, right? But again, the journey is not even worth it if you don't enjoy it. And we've had some rainy weather, so I have been going on the elliptical instead. But getting back to saying this plan that I have, I'm really excited about it because I did it. I actually executed it yesterday, and I wasn't sore. I wasn't exhausted. Now I get people walking up to me, "Hey, you should run, you should run." And I'm like, I pip and run, but I don't run, right? And the reason why I don't run, I don't have an injury or a knee problem or a hip problem, and it's because I don't run, okay? So don't get me started. I'm not a runner. My theory is my ancestors ran because somebody was going after them. Either a lion or a tribe or a slave catcher or a police. We're always running. And when you're running, you're creating stress hormones. the stress hormones are going to activate to hold on to fat. So there's research that even says that going slow, you use the the certain nervous system which burns, that slow burn, that slow twitch nerves that actually burn fat. And guess what, guys? I've got a lot of fat to burn, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of walking, right? So that's my distant benefit, So that keeps me motivated. I know that when I'm doing 10,000 steps, I'm walking 5 miles, I'm burning 500 calories, I could pretty much eat kind of keto. Now this is not a nutrition video, so don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I had a plan. And similarly, it's like trading. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan of consistency. You have to have a plan where you are getting regular. You set goals. You set a goal for how much money you want to make, what percentage, and you really want to still focus on percentages and not the money. Because you have a $100 account and now you've made it like $150, and then your brain will tell you, oh, you only made $50, right? And so now you are sad. You want to over leverage and try to double it, increase the position size, and that's a trap. Because you got to realize, be thankful for where you are, that you made 50% on your account. 50%. If you can do that on a regular basis, scaling your account, then you are fantastic. You're in great shape, right? So it's not just being, it's not this dollar amount, it's the percentage. You get your percentage and your win rate and your consistency up, then you can scale up to amounts that, which is we quote unquote say matter, right? Unless you live in a third world country, $50 is not going to do you a whole lot, especially here in the United States, especially with the advent of inflation, that you're not really going to get that kind of, you're not going to, that $50 is not going to go far, right? But let's say you were able to have a $10,000 account. So now you make $500, right? So that'll be pretty cool, okay? So it's very important to just keep in mind the percentages and not so much the dollar figures, and setting that goal. If you can do that consistently, like students in my course, they average about 5 to 6% per week. 5% per week, 5 to 6%. I mean, you've got some overachievers that will knock out 400%, or 1,000% like Michael or something like that. But typically, about 3 to 5% per week is what is usually what the market will give you, because you only can take what the market can give you. And if you want more, you just increase the size of your account, okay? So what is a good, someone asked, like, what is a good percentage to shoot for? And I say 3 to 5% per week. I've got students that can do a 3 to 5% per day, but it's really up to you. It's just like, there's people that can deadlift, 300 pounds, bench press 400 pounds, right? But I'm not those people, right? I don't have the conditioning. I don't have the experience. I don't have the physique, or I hadn't put in the work to actually to bench press 450 pounds. Okay, that's that person. That's not me. So you have to know yourself as a trader. You have to know what you can do comfortably without, that doesn't set off all kinds of alarm bells and nervousness and tension, and your stomach is twisting around. You're becoming impatient. You start making mistakes. There's a level that you can operate where you are not being totally tormented by your trade. Now, a little pressure is good. Stress, there's also people eustress, just enough stress to keep you. Someone said, "Oh yeah, I want to make 100% per month." I'm like going, "Have you ever done 100% per month? Have you ever done that?" And they say, "No, but I'm just going to set a big goal and see if I can hit it." And it's like, you're going to set yourself up for failure, and you're going to damage your emotions, your self-esteem, and your confidence. Okay, because if you hit like 1% and you're aiming for 100, your brain's gonna mess with you and say, "Look, you suck because you're 99% below your goal," right? So you want to set realistic goals for what you want to make. But before you get started, the job of the trader, the number one job of the trader is capital preservation. Protecting your capital, protecting your account from drawdown. That is the number one job of a trader. Your number one job is to protect your capital. Okay? So even when you're asking like, well, how much should I make? You're already on a slippery slope and on a not so good path, because you're more concerned about growing your account instead of protecting your account. So you really want to keep that risk, the amount of money that you risk on a trade, between 3 and 5%. 3 and 5%. 3% if you're confident about the trade, but not super confident. And if you're super confident, you could get up to like 5%. Okay? And I know there's a lot of books and gurus and tapes out there that tell you go for a 2-for-1 risk-reward ratio. And when you're scalping, because that's my specialty, I teach people how to Forex scalp. We're going to be scalping, looking for between a 1 and 1.6% risk to reward ratio. And then people say, well, Greg, then you have a 50-50 chance of losing. And that's where the pip and run system comes in. When you have a system that can give you 80% and 90% probability, you can go 1-to-1. Your risk to reward targets and the percentages you use should be based on your win percentage. So if your win percentage sucks, if you're like 50-50 or 40-60, you lose 60% and you win 40%, you need a high risk reward, 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 risk reward ratio. That means for every dollar that you put at risk, you're going to make 3. So if you lose 2/3 of your trades, you can still be profitable, make money, and retire if you're getting consistent 4-to-1 and above, or 3-to-1 risk reward ratios. Okay? Now, those are like the unicorns or the elephants that show up every now and then. And you'll be waiting a long time for a 4-to-1, a 5-to-1, 6-to-1. We have a system for finding those. But again, it takes time to find those. And if you're scalping, you need to look for faster targets. So your risk reward is going to typically be 1.6, 1 to 1.6, because you're going to have, usually you have students who go through my 3-step training actually can do between 85 and 90%. There's some days I have 100% winning trades, so I don't have a loss. Okay. So, if you're hitting 90%, you can have an inverse risk reward ratio. In fact, you can have, you can risk half a dollar and risk $1 to make half a dollar, because your win ratio is so high. Okay, so don't try this at home, folks. This is not. Don't say Greg told me that I can risk $1 and make 50 cents and make money. He's like, no, you can't, because you don't have my system. Okay, if you have my system, you could, and some do. Okay, so if you want to learn more about risk management, laying out a plan, and that way you can reach your goal. My goal weighs 170 pounds and I'm about I'm about a little bit away from that goal weight. But now I have a plan that if I can lose 2 pounds a week, 2 to 3 pounds a week, 12 pounds a month, hey, 3 months I'm at my goal weight. I have a plan. So you may have a plan for retirement, a plan, the amount of money that you need to get free. You know, the slaves back in the day, a lot of them actually worked other jobs for money, actually got paid, right? And when they saved up enough money working somewhere else, they actually bought their own freedom. So the equivalent money they would have to save up back then from, some would actually maybe work the fields during the day, but at night they were a blacksmith somewhere, okay? So this is you can look it up on the internet, you don't have to believe me. But there are a number of slaves who bought their own freedom because they worked extra hard, used that money to buy their freedom, okay? So, and if you look at the amount of money that they actually saved to do that, it comes out to be $300,000 or $400,000 in today's money. So now people look at the jobs as the modern slavery. So if you figure, hey, guess what? You fast forward 300 years, or 200 years, or 160 years really, it's still $400,000 to get a lot of you free, right? So now you can backward engineer from that and say, look, how much do I have? How much do I need? How much do I need to make per week? But at risking this amount of money. If I'm risking 3% of $1,000, hey, I'm risking $30, right? And if I'm risking 30, and if I'm gonna get, so every trade I make 30 or 1.6, $48, okay? If $48 is not gonna change your day, you're gonna have to, if you're using the power of compounding, we can talk about that in the next video. I'm about to turn the corner here because we're at the high school now. This is the high school, we're just walking by. We just passed the middle school and I'm on my way, right? But, so you lay out a plan, it's called backward sequence planning. You start with the end in mind. So I know my end weight's 170. I need to burn out 50 pounds. And if I burn up 2 pounds a week, then 25 weeks from now, I should be thin and slim, right? I should be at my goal weight. Okay, so you gotta do that with, hey, if I need $400,000, I've got 10 right now, and percent to double if I'm making 2 to 3%, 5% per week. That's 20% per month. Okay, and they can use the percent to double formula. That you double every 2.5 months. You double your account, right? So the second month, third month, fourth month, sixth month. Yeah, so 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, 640. So I mean, you can do the job in 6 months to a year, but it requires having a reliable system. If you have a reliable system, other than pip and run, you can do it. If you don't, you probably need to go to EliteTradersUniversity.com. Go ahead and go to that website. There's a master class to help you get started, and an income blueprint, a Forex income blueprint. Okay, that Forex income blueprint, you read that. It's a nice 13-page ebook I wrote that kind of details the plan I'm telling you about. And also, there's a master class, about an hour and a half. There's a recorded trading seminar showing me trading, as well as some testimonials about people I've helped to achieve this plan. Okay, and so thank you so much for watching, for sharing this video, thumbs upping, liking, subscribing, and getting the word out so we all can get free. Get fired up. Freedom, independence, retirement, and E. There's a E stands for something. Type in the chat box if you know what that FIRE acronym stands for, And I appreciate if you like this video. If there's other videos that you would like to learn something about, if you found this helpful, let me know, and then also suggest what my next video may be, because I'm going to be walking and talking and spreading the word about pip and run and Forex scalping. You know, why buy and hold when you can pip and run? My name is Greg McLeod. I love you much. Happy pipping. Cheers. Peace and pips. Bye.